state capital of South Carolina. So it's a perfect day to come inside Colonial Life Arena to check out the South Carolina Gamecocks, ranked number 3 in the nation today, hosting North Carolina Central. And once again, good afternoon, everybody. Sam Gore, honored to be alongside Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli. Debbie, any day is a good day when you get to watch South Carolina play basketball. So give me your Debbie Antonelli report card on this team.
You're putting a checklist together. I don't see a weakness in the South Carolina team. They have great rim protection. They can protect the paint. They can score in the paint. They can play at any speed. This is a fun team to watch, and it is a team with the same expectations every year here for Dawn Staley, and that is to build towards a national championship.
Well, let's take a look at some actual numbers from this team, especially when you compare it to last year.
Well, that's just the thing about the team that I really like is the balance. And adding Ta'Niya Latson gives them a go-to perimeter scorer. This is a balanced team. 4 players averaging in double figures, and they're led on the interior by Medina Okote. 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan. She gets 2 feet in the paint. She's going to score at the rim. She protects the rim, and she runs the floor. She is a tremendous athlete with good footwork and great hands. And when you watch her play, you can see that as a player that just started playing the game at 17 years of age, she has an incredible upside. She is first in the SEC in rebounding, 9th nationally, averaging a double-double, and 7 times she's been in had a double-double in the last consecutive games.
Gamecocks will be going up against the Eagles of North Carolina Central. They are led by Terrence Baxter. Coach Baxter's coached at all levels. He has managed to stay in North Carolina the entire time. And this year's team, he expects to contend for the MEAC title. South Carolina in their home whites will be without Tessa Johnson this afternoon, who's under the weather. And the Eagles are actually without their preseason player of the year in the conference, Morgan Callahan. So that changes things for both teams. First shot is a 3 off the mark by Johnson. And the rebound grab by Edwards.
So North Carolina Central starts out in the zone, and they have no size. Okay, so South Carolina is bigger than them at every position, so they're going to have to do a really good job of boxing out and staying on the glass.
They're starting 5 again without MEAC Player of the Year, Morgan Callahan. They have no starters over 6 feet. Be a very different looking game. You'd expect a coat to certainly be an impactful player in this one. Johnson drives. First bucket of the game is scored by Johnson. Raven Johnson, number 25.
Even Raven Johnson, the point guard for South Carolina, is bigger than the post play for North Carolina Central. And that's part of the reason why they're going to play in the zone, try to make South Carolina make shots outside the paint.
The Eagles normally like to run. Today, though, Coach Baxter telling us they're going to try to slow it down a little bit. Their goal is to keep South Carolina under 100. Three-pointer is good right away by Anaya Finger. That's a good start. Latson quickly on the other end. Good pass to Edwards, and Edwards draws the foul going up. So we'll have our first free throw of the game. Foul was on Coleman. Morgan Callahan, the preseason player of the year in the MEAC, first team member last year. They're giving up 10 points and 7 rebounds a game with her on the bench.
I mean, it's disappointing. You bring your team in here and you want to try to match up your team against the very best. It's part of the reason why Coach Baxter agreed to play in this game. Plus, they got to bolster their budgets a little bit, but it gives your team an experience to play in what is typically a sold out. In 11 consecutive years, South Carolina has led the nation in attendance.
Yeah, they averaged 16,291. That second 3 of the game off the mark. Offensive board, though, by the Eagles. Coleman gets rid of it. Baseline jumper, no good, and Okote grabs the rebound, but brought it down, and it's stripped away. Gotta love the Eagles' hustle here. They end up getting 2 out of that possession. Blake with the bucket.
And set up a little bit of token pressure back into that zone.
Latson will shoot the 3. Rebounded by Coleman. Good start for the Eagles here in the first 2 minutes. And that pass just too strong. A turnover. South Carolina, of course, led by the legendary Dawn Staley. And, we talk all about her coaching career, Debbie, but She's the only person to win the Naismith Award as a player and as a coach.
Yeah.
I don't think that gets enough attention.
No, it's impressive. It just shows you excellence across the board. I remember Dawn as a player in college and in the WNBA, and of course her incredible Olympic success. I think she could be in the Naismith Hall of Fame as both player and coach. I think that's going to happen one day.
Absolutely agree. Lane looking inside, broken up. Edwards double team, trying to get it to a teammate. A Coat will pick it up, and a Coat can handle the ball. That's, again, one of the many skills of a Coat.
Yeah, sometimes you give the bigs a 2-dribble rule, but I actually think that Coach Staley lets her dribble a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I've seen her go coast to coast before when nobody was available. Latson fouled by finger on the perimeter. Medina and Coat, boy, what a huge impact she's made for South Carolina this year. And even Dawn Staley a bit surprised by what she's been able to handle.
She's good, and she's only going to get better. I've enjoyed watching her progression. Like, this is an incredible journey to keep your eye on at 6'6" to do the things that she can do as an athlete.
Well, she just missed her own shot and then missed the follow after she grabbed her rebound. It's already 3 rebounds for her. Morris will put up the baseline jumper. Good. And the Eagles are soaring right now. Up 7-4. They're 3 of 5 shooting. And we've, Raven Johnson is down opposite the bench. Good to see her spin around and sit up on her own.
They're already at 8 is South Carolina.
Just got tangled up there in those courtside seats. You're right. 8 players for Dawn Staley today, with Tessa Johnson being out. We've had a bug going around the team, she said. Tessa Johnson unfortunately has it today, but Raven Johnson will stay in the game. That's good news. Latson.
Sagging man-to-man defense.
Latson got a screen, missed a shot, and a Coat is there to clean it up.
You're just too big with that 6'10" wingspan and that frame inside.
That's her first bucket of the game. Good tee by Latson. The steal and the layup.
Last year, Ta'Niya Latson led the nation in scoring. 25.2 points per game. She's averaging 16 here at South Carolina, but she has a different role.
Here's Edwards. Has 3 players in front of her. Doesn't matter. And 1. Edwards taking on 3 Eagles on that drive.
Bigger, stronger, playing with force. Downhill, Joyce Edwards handles the contact and finishes. She definitely doesn't have the 2-dribble rule. That's the one thing that we've watched from Asia Wilson's early time at South Carolina playing for Dawn, how she would throw the outlet. Now you don't see really any of Dawn's bigs make an outlet pass. They're all capable. It's part of player development.
It is very different this year. Usually you think of defense when you think of South Carolina. Their offense is just as lethal this year, and it's a different look for them. That foul, by the way, had been on finger on the other end. That's her second foul. And a little tie up there with the diminutive Tierney Coleman, who's just under 5'9", but showing some heart, tying up Edwards.
Raven Johnson coming off a game where she had 8 assists and only 1 turnover with 11 points. She usually makes pretty good decisions. If you're going to encapsulate Raven Johnson in one word, you'd say winner. That kid has won since she's been here at South Carolina.
The Eagles off to a good start, 3 of 7. Yeah, getting back to Johnson, they've won 95% of their games when Raven Johnson's been in the lineup. That's incredible. 3 is good by Coleman, and the Eagles have hit 2 3-pointers already.
I mean, this is a team that's already played North Carolina and Wake Forest out of the ACC. So they have played some Power 4 competition, but certainly nothing to this level. And they have showed up with a lot of confidence, like you got nothing to lose, which they absolutely have nothing to lose.
And also they lost a fierce battle against one of their main rivals, North Carolina A&T, earlier this week. And that really did not sit well with this team. They felt like they should have won that game. They outscored A&T in 3 of the 4 quarters. And so they're coming in with a little extra momentum, or a little extra incentive, I should say. Edwards stripped away. It's going to stay with South Carolina.
A couple of live ball turnovers have allowed South Carolina to have the lead here early. Come on back. We're just in the first quarter. And then got his opportunity at D1.
From Thomasville, North Carolina originally. Latson trying to spin away, gets the shot off. It's short. A Coat with the offensive rebound. And a Coat sticks it in. North Carolina Central's brought in Maggie Penn, a 6'5" grad student from Senegal, to try to handle a Coat. That's her with the ball. It's the biggest player on the roster for North Carolina Central.
I think Joyce Edwards has really improved her defense on the perimeter. It's something to keep your eye on because it can definitely affect the ball scheming, defensive actions that Dawn Staley runs. You know, when you got a big, they can jump out and switch or hedge or double, under, over, ice, jam, all those different ways.
Ayla McDowell just came in for South Carolina, number 24. Foster shoots a 3. Say back in bounds. Eagles will keep it. Young. Shot clock was expiring. And an offensive rebound by Penn. South Carolina expecting to use a lot of their bench players in this game today.
Yeah, that's an example of not over-penetrating, but you got to make open shots.
Maddie McDowell takes it herself, draws the foul. Yeah, are we underestimating maybe the absence of Tessa Johnson today with South Carolina, at least here at the start?
I mean, you know, Tessa Johnson is a tremendous three-point shooter. She is the best three-point threat that South Carolina has, but not yet. And I only say that not to diminish what Tessa Johnson can do, but South Carolina's advantage is clearly in the paint. It's going to be that most nights in games that they play. They just haven't been able to they haven't had to slow the game down yet. They've been able to get a lot in transition. Now, she definitely stretches the floor for them.
McDaniel makes both free throws. South Carolina builds the lead up to 5. Again, Tessa Johnson out today with an illness.
And we hope she's feeling better.
Travel before that was stolen away. Asia Hinton checking in for North Carolina Central. South Carolina ranked number 3, just the one loss to Texas this year. They're undefeated here at home. And they got quite a streak there. They went 85 straight over
that's impressive.
Unranked opponents.
It's impressive.
Longest streak in the nation.
Well, in our conversation with Coach Staley before the game, it was all about habits, about character, about maturity. These are the things she's expecting from her team, and she has seen good habits. She wants her practice to carry over to the games. I think every coach wants that. But the one thing that you know out of this group for Dawn is they're going to work hard, and they're going to give the most they have. She demands that, she expects it, and she gets it.
That was on Blake, puts McDaniel back on the free throw line. McDaniel now, this will be her 4th free throw since she just checked in. Wow, Debbie, you got to be impressed with that free throw stroke.
I like smooth, didn't hit the rim, all net.
4 for 4. Little press here by South Carolina. The Eagles break it. Lane kicks it to the corner.
Lane doing a really good job beating that press.
Here's Young going to the bucket, draws the foul, beat from behind on McDaniel.
You can see why Coach Baxter was so optimistic about the experience his team was going to get in here today. I mean, they have done a nice job of playing their game, right? He would like to slow it down a little bit, but they have done a good job right here coming off the timeout and taking care of the ball.
It's got a veteran group and says they're finally healthy. So with the exception of Callahan, who can't play because of a concussion today, but overall the team is at full strength. And for Morgan Callahan, this has got to make her feel a little better. I expect her to have her back for the next game. Just coming out of concussion protocol. Screen for Harris. Young with 7 on the shot clock leans in, contact, no foul. Eagles will keep the ball, but the shot clock is stuck at 6.
It was a good job staying vertical, and that's what I'm talking about. Joyce Edwards guarding a smaller perimeter player, doing a really nice job.
The Eagles trying to get it in, almost had the 5 count. McDaniel with the interception. She's got Edwards open, and Edwards with the easy 2. Edwards has scored in double figures her last 9 games. And a timeout taken by Central.
Good job denying the first couple of options. The last option on the out-of-bounds play is the safety spot in the back, and Maddie McDaniel reads it so well.
McDaniel, 4 points, a rebound, and an assist coming in off the bench just a couple of minutes ago. What an impactful few minutes she's had. One of the many McDonald's All-Americans on this roster.
8 McDonald's All-Americans on this roster.
McDaniel, a sophomore. Central started the game 3 of 5. They're 1 for their last 7 as the South Carolina defense started to lock down a little bit. Now, what a great chance for players like Maddie McDaniel to come in with Johnson out today and earn maybe some more playing time later down the road.
Good time to get some good film and show coach what you can do. This is going to be an important role for her right here. It's good ball pressure on top of the floor.
See what Central came up with during that timeout. South Carolina's D just continues to get tighter and tighter. Shot clock again down to 5. Harris flips it back. Shot clock is at 1. They have to launch. Morris didn't see it. And a shot clock violation forced by the Gamecocks.
That's tough. And coming off the timeout to not get the shot that you want. That's part of the reason why you call that timeout, is to make sure everybody's on the same page. Back in that zone. Raven Johnson stepped out of bounds.
Stepped out of bounds. So that'll turn it over again. That's turnover number 6 on South Carolina.
Between the sideline and at the break where the 3-point line is about 3 feet 3 inches. So there's not a lot of space over there. You got a really good footwork.
Central had the hot start, but South Carolina's defense has been the story in the back half of this quarter. Edwards weaving her way to the bucket and 1.
How about a little crossover from the big girl? You know, the next level right here will be, watch how Joyce Edwards has her eyes down. Eyes down, okay? She can cross up her primary, but the next level is get to the paint and be able to make that pass to the 3-point shooters. That's where you might miss Tessa Johnson.
Foul is on Young. Edwards already in double figures, so she has yet to have a game where she hasn't scored in double figures this season. Three on the way, in and out. A good position by Dowda to grab that rebound. Textbook blockout. Into Dowda. No, they got the shot. Coach Staley, so she looks at units on the floor instead of individual players when she has 5 out there. So I wonder what she's going to think of this unit. Johnson gets pumped. Three on the way. Yes! Knocked down by McDowell.
McDowell got a lot of extra shots up before the game today.
Paid off right there.
There's a tough turnover. This is what I'm talking about, eyes up. Look at Raven Johnson, eyes up. Look at that scoop pass to the shooting pocket of McDowell, who steps into a triple in transition. Beautifully done.
McDowell had over 2,700 points in high school. One of those 8 McDonald's All-Americans. Final seconds here of the opening quarter. South Carolina has steadily gotten better. They're now up to 50% shooting, 4th in the nation in field goal percentage this year. Their average is 53%. And going back to the free throw line is McDowell. She's done a good job getting to the line. She's going to get 2 more here. She will have shot 6 free throws this quarter. That was on Foster.
South Carolina's defense has held North Carolina Central without a field goal in the last 5:24 of this quarter. So coming off that timeout, they really clamped down.
Yeah, McDaniel, 6 of 6 from the free throw line. Final second of the quarter, good! The three-pointer is good by Tierney Coleman to give Central a little boost after that quarter. How about this, Debbie?
I mean, South Carolina doesn't even stop the ball up the floor, and Coach, the Gamecocks have turned it up another notch on the defensive end here to have a 12-point lead to start the second quarter. Ta'Niya Latson with a steal. Live ball turnovers an issue for North Carolina Central. 10 points for North Carolina Central off their defense. 6 points for South Carolina off 3 steals. So every live ball has resulted in a basket for South Carolina.
And for North Carolina Central, Debbie, what'd you like from the Eagles in that quarter?
Well, I love that 3 at the end of the quarter just to give them a little momentum. But I think the zone was good. It's hard to rebound out of that. And I think they did slow down the progression of the ball a little bit. I mean, this is a South Carolina team that averages 88 points. They are 4th in the SEC in scoring, 10th in the nation in scoring. You got to try to take something away. So if you can run a little clock and shorten the game and give them less possessions, that would be something that will definitely help you when you get to the MEAC, which is their conference.
Don Staley starting Latson, Tack, McDowell, Johnson, and Dowda here in the second quarter. South Carolina made 8 of 16 shots in that first quarter. Really locked down the Eagles D until that final 3 of the quarter. Latson, first shot of the quarter, off the mark. Tack with a rebound. Brought it down and was tied up. Good job by Penn to get the tie up there. And Coach Baxter's kept his only big in the game. Number 22, Maggie Penn from Senegal. She's not normally a starter, but when you go up against South Carolina, you need that height. Officials reviewed that 3 during the break between first and second quarter and called it good. Good steal. Johnson to Dowda. She'll shoot the 3. She has that shot, but missed everything that time.
Raven Johnson just sizing that up. You know, these are the plays that she makes that makes her a winner because she's unselfish. She likes distributing. Dowda can knock down that triple. She did shoot 3s at Arkansas.
She's taken 5 this year. Hasn't made one yet, but does have it. I like watching Raven Johnson's eyes when she has the ball. Lane looking for an opening, good D. They get it into Penn. Penn off the glass, no good. Johnson with a rebound. Johnson looking up the floor, threw it to Latson, knocked out of bounds. And officials could not see who the ball was out on, so they call a jump ball. All three officials were unsighted, and so a jump ball called. And Dawn Staley's asking for an explanation. So when the officials can't agree, it's a jump ball.
She asked Ta'Niya Latson, did you touch it? And Ta'Niya said yes or no. I think she said no. Do you tell the truth when your coach is asking? I think you do. She said she didn't touch it.
That is rare, where you have three officials and none of them had a good angle at that.
Well, you can appeal if you want.
Yeah, you could. Risk losing the timeout. Not worth it for Dawn Staley. Latson. There's so much with the ball in her hand.
You know, we've talked about Latson quite a bit. I mean, we know she's an incredible scorer. She can get a bucket. But one of the things that she's improved upon is her vertical. So she's added 4 inches to her jump. So you kind of have a new body to play along with your new skill set, right? I mean, yeah. I think it does matter. So your elevation is a little bit higher than it's been. Off the jump, I do think it takes some time for shooters to adjust to that.
Their strength coach, Molly Benetti, said that Latson had never really trained her jump. And so there's Molly. That was one of the first things they did was improve that vertical. It's worked on her efficiency, her defense. It's really improved all aspects of her game.
I really think when you're stronger and you jump higher, I think it does impact your shot. It takes some time to adjust. I'm not giving her a free pass or making an excuse. I'm telling you the harsh reality of trying to be a better athlete and what comes with it.
That's a great point. A coat with a bucket inside. A coat, 6 points and 5 rebounds already. Again, she leads the nation in double-doubles, number 11 in white. And that's just out of bounds on Central.
I mean, it's a tough go for Lane. You don't have many other secondary ball handlers. And I think Nyjah Lane has done actually a pretty good job. She leads the MEAC in assists. She has turned it over 5 times early, but this is a lot of ball pressure to deal with.
13 turnovers for the Eagles. They average 21 a game. Now they force a turnover. Lane, 2-on-2. Nice take and 1 for Coleman.
Nice job off their defense. Converting quickly to the offensive end. Good finish with a little contact.
Fouls on the Del Tac, her first. And Coleman's going to go to the free throw line now. She transferred in from Oral Roberts. She was the Summit League Freshman of the Year. Now a grad student. Also went to Sam Houston State. Good job by the Eagles. Get the miss. You cannot question the Eagles' hustle in this game.
They have been locked in, and they're just going to the next play, which is what you want them to do. You know, play the next play.
Johnson had options. Good pass from a Coat, and Edwards with the finish. That's one of the many things a Coat does well is pass.
Well, it's a great steal by Edwards, and the timing of that duck in was perfect, and the delivery on target.
First assist of the game for a Coat. It's out on the perimeter defending now. Gamecocks up 14. Undefeated at home this year. Lane thought about the 3, but when she stepped back, stepped out of bounds, and that little bit of space back there.
There's that 3 feet 3 inches again coming into play. Look at Edwards right here. Great seal, ducks in, keeps her defender on her back, holds that contact, and makes an easy finish at the rim. You do all the work before the ball gets to your hands.
Coat, gonna keep that ball up high. McDowell. And a Coat with a finish. Coat now 8 points, 7 rebounds, an assist, a block, and a steal. She's all over the stat sheet, and another turnover on the Eagles.
call her for a carrying or palming or travel. I'm not sure exactly what the correct adjudication of that is, except for it's a carry. It means your palm is under the ball and then it comes over the top.
How much attention is the coach getting at the WNBA level?
A lot.
Now, Debbie?
A lot of attention, because you see how athletic she is, how long she is, how mobile she is.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned her speed, lightning fast. And Molly Benetti said she's probably the strongest natural athlete they've ever had on the women's basketball team.
Now, the one thing about girls or women that are 6'6" or taller, they don't play the game low to high very often. They play the game standing up, but her standing up at 6'6" with a 6'10" wingspan is tough to deal with. She's active. Dawn Staley says she's curious. She takes coaching. She is interested in getting better. She asks a lot of questions. That's what you want out of a young talent who's just trying to get better.
Latson shoots and scores off the inbounds pass. Akota started her athletic career as a volleyball player. Didn't start playing basketball until she was 17. It's interesting, when they were warming up today, they were actually doing a little volleyball pepper with a basketball.
Look at her move right there laterally.
Morris stopped by Edwards, had Latson behind her, and Latson gets called for the foul as the trailing defender. South Carolina's defense has only allowed one field goal made by Central this quarter. And there's the second one off the glass. Finger, I'll take it. Johnson, three is short. Coat crashed the boards, got the rebound. Latson gonna give her another shot. Johnson, her third attempt on this possession, and finally a coach says, let me show you how it's done. And a coat will go to the line. Finger gets called for the foul.
Raven Johnson attacking off the offensive glass. A coat there to clean it all up. Free throws when we come back.
Peter, that's breaking news to us here at the table. Wow.
Peter, a wild day. How about a wild night? Wow. What a night in college football last night. I mean, to think that Indiana and Duke win their respective football leagues.
Yeah.
Those are basketball schools,
exactly.
aren't they?
Yeah. And what reality is that?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys at the halftime. Right now, North Carolina Central trying to put up a fight in South Carolina. Medina Code already with 10 points and 9 rebounds, a rebound away from another double-double. She leads the nation in that category, has 7 in the 9 games played so far, and she's probably going to get the 8th. Started at Mississippi State last year, came over from Kenya, and played 1 year for the Bulldogs and then transferred to South Carolina. She's on the free throw line now. She just threw the 3rd foul on Finger. And already South Carolina with 20 points in the paint. They average 50 a game in the paint, which is 2nd in the nation.
That's a number that I'm going to enjoy following on a coat all season, especially when we get to the SEC, is how many fouls does she draw on the interior defense of the opponent? Because I think it's going to be a lot. And with her soft touch and the way she shoots free throws, look at this ball pressure.
Yeah. Pressuring Penn. Penn got rid of it to Jasper. 3 is partially blocked, and then Latson had it momentarily stolen back by Morris.
Did not hit the rim.
Shot clock never reset. Turnover. Getting back to that Coat foul discussion, Debbie, I remember last year when Medina was asked some of the differences between playing basketball here and in Africa. She said, well, in Kenya, they don't call fouls. Had to learn how to not foul here. First few whistles, she was bewildered as to what was the problem.
We asked Dawn Staley before the game, was there anything that was surprising about a Coat? She knew she had great hands and footwork, but she loved how much she listens and tries to execute. She really wants to understand the bigger picture about what Coach Staley is trying to accomplish with this team.
Edwards with the bucket. Yeah, that is major when you have a coach like Dawn Staley say that when she explains something to a player, they just get it and execute. I mean, that is huge. And another essential turnover.
Another good piece of perimeter defense by Joyce Edwards. Under overhead strap, ice jam, switch, drop. The 8 different ways you can guard a ball screen. And when you have the length of Joyce Edwards at 6'3", who can move like she can, Coach Staley is going to be able to do a lot of different things with her playing, whether she's playing the 3 or the 4 or the 5.
Last year, one of the top freshmen in the country, even better this year as a sophomore. Latson, free throw line jumper off the mark.
That's usually money on a pin down for Latson, because that's the play that gets her to the nail to be able to knock down a 15-footer.
That's an average of 16 a game. She's had 4 so far this afternoon.
Off her defense.
Jasper, nice take by Jasper. Natalie Jasper, another one of the grad students on the Central team, a veteran team. Parents for All-American track athletes at Georgetown. 3 on the way. Offensive board by Latson. South Carolina 1 for 8 behind the 3-point line, which is way under their average. They averaged 39% this year from 3. A foul inside away from the ball.
It's going to be on Edwards for an illegal screen.
Her first. Morris backs it out, and the South Carolina bench was screaming 3 seconds, and the officials finally gave them the call. So another turnover. South Carolina's been to 5 straight Final Fours. Debbie, what's the over-under on 6 straight?
I wouldn't bet against it.
Yeah.
I would not bet against it. I mean, they played a challenging non-conference schedule. I mean, the Duke win was a quad 2. Texas loss doesn't hurt them. Louisville, quad 2. They're going to have an opportunity to play Penn State coming up next. A couple of games in South Florida at USF and Florida Gulf Coast. They'll be challenged in different ways with that schedule. And then they'll start with Alabama. And Christy Curry's got a much improved team. They'll play them here.
I had Alabama beating Clemson in the ACC-SEC Challenge last Thursday.
Cody Essence played well, didn't she?
She's
did. Excellent.
So look at their upcoming schedule you referred to. Fouls on Jasper, puts Latson on the line. SEC, again, the dominant conference in every metric that you look at right now.
I mean, LSU going into the ACC SEC Challenge was the #1 in the net and hadn't played anything but 1 quad 3 and the rest quad 4s, okay? And then they play Duke and they're drop a number. UConn moves back to the net #1 and LSU goes to #2.
Yeah, well, I mean, the net's not supposed to make sense till March, so we'll say that.
I'm not even sure it's going to make sense at all. Well, it's just one piece of criteria, so you're trying to get too worked up over it. And certainly Coach Mulkey's not getting worked up over it.
Jasper just committed the foul, put Raven Johnson on the free throw line. The net updated as of games yesterday. This is where all the SEC teams are in. Again, that's one of the main predictors of who gets in the tournament. It's supposed to be a very good reflection of who should be in March. It's sort of a work in progress throughout the season. That's all we got. Good pressure by South Carolina, and then a foul on McDowell as she made contact with the ball handler. Coleman coming back in off the bench. Coleman with 8 points today for Central. She's their leading scorer. Under 2 to play in the half. Lane with the take.
Oh, that's a tough two. I mean, South Carolina guarded that well. That's just a great play by Lane.
Edwards.
Okay,
Triple team.
Triple team.
3 on the way. Oakland, no good. South Carolina's outscored Central 16-8 this quarter. Long 3. Yeah. Oh, Coleman has the hot hand. Her third 3.
Well, Latson goes underneath that screen. That's from way out.
3 for 5.
Put that on the scout report, Sam.
That'll work in the MEAC this year. That'll work anywhere. Under a minute to play. Boom, good by McDowell.
Boy, this 6'1" freshman's upside is going to be fun to watch. She only had 4 triples coming into the game. She's already hit a couple. She's long, she's athletic, she's got versatility. She's another one of those McDonald's All-Americans for Coach Staley.
6'1" from Cypress, Texas. And a travel. That's McDowell pressuring the ball handler and forces a turnover. Here she is on the offensive end.
Played for Brazil in the FIBA U19. Averaged 17 points. Oh, yeah.
And a timeout taken by South Carolina. Saw Dawn Staley do this the last game I was here, Debbie, when they were playing Winthrop. Dawn Staley will call these timeouts to practice situations in game.
Well, I think you have to be good in all of your offensive situations and your defensive situations, which we don't talk about as enough, right? But offensively, ATOs, baseline out of bounds, sideline out of bounds, jump ball. Anytime there's a dead ball and you have a chance to execute exactly what you want. Now, the last time they came out of a timeout, they went pin down action for Latson. She got to the nail. Let's see what they run this time.
A moment ago, you mentioned the Alabama women. Well, the Alabama men will be coming up next. We'll send you to Tuscaloosa for the beginning of our men's basketball doubleheader. Alabama will take that balanced attack against the Road Runners of UTSA. That follows us here on SEC Network and the app.
You don't want to let this be a trap game if you're Nate Oates, because they got Arizona up next, who's number 2 in the country and is undefeated.
Alabama coming off win over Clemson in the ACC-SEC Challenge. So South Carolina's holding it for 1. There's a 1 second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Let's see what Dawn Staley came up with. Edwards draws the foul, 2.5 on the shot clock, 3.2 on the game clock.
Whatever they were supposed to run, they didn't run it right, because this is frustrating for Coach Staley. The frustration on her face. You call timeout, you tell your players exactly what you want them to execute, and then look at you got overplay right here, and that allows help to the post. The spacing was overloaded.
Second foul on Blake, and Edwards misses the free throw. Get one more. Edwards, 14 points so far, make it 15. So final seconds of the half. Looking forward to hearing about the college football playoff, but here in women's basketball, South Carolina up 46-25. Edwards with 15 points and 3 rebounds in that first half. Johnson. And Adele Tack now coming out as one of the starting 5 for South Carolina, along with McDowell. So McDaniel not starting.
I don't even see Ocote on the bench right now.
Huh. Ocote in the first half had a double-double. Well, she was 1 rebound shy, 9 rebounds. Let's see what happens there. Eagles with the ball, first possession, third quarter. Their goal was to hold South Carolina to under 100 points. They held them to 46 in the first half. And we're looking for a coach. And I think you're right, Debbie. She's not on the bench right now. And they've had a bug going around the team. That's why Tessa Johnson's not playing. Hopefully we'll see her pop back out. But if she's not feeling well, she certainly played well in that first half.
Or someone will let us know.
Yeah. Tack with a rebound, gets tied up, and the ball will go to South Carolina. Official Corey Chambers making that call.
There's a good look at Corey Chambers, a good young official in our game. Played at the University of Georgia for Andy Landers, was an All-SEC freshman team member, second team All-SEC, played professionally, coached, and now makes her living as an official. I think she's doing a great job. And we're not supposed to have favorites, not while they're playing, but after they graduate, you can have some favorites, and she's one of my favorite Georgia players.
Latson makes the three for South Carolina. Why was she one of your favorites?
Because she could score. She could flat out shoot it.
And why didn't you go into officiating, Debbie?
I like sitting over here with you instead.
Edwards trying to lead the break after the Latson three. Now she'll shoot another one. Back-to-back threes for Latson.
That's the play from Joyce Edwards that I'm talking about. I referenced it in the first half. Rebound, push, sprint to the deep corner by Latson. A great job. Watch Edwards, eyes up. Look at this pass, right on the money. Latson back-to-back triples to start the second. Women's teams like the SEC has.
Dawn Staley leading her team hopefully back to a sixth consecutive Final Four. They're seeking their third national title in 5 years. Only UConn and Tennessee have done that historically. And a travel before the shot on Coleman. So South Carolina today without Tessa Johnson, and Medina Okote still not on the South Carolina bench after playing the entire first half.
Iverson action to isolate Edwards. Oh, look at that pass. That's a little wild. She'll get better at that. It's the right look, though, Sam. I mean,
yeah. It was amazing she even made that pass.
I mean, I think she can score that whenever she wants.
Latson's hit back-to-back threes for South Carolina.
South Carolina only had 5 assists in the first half.
17 buckets overall for them so far today. And a turnover. Coach Baxter very happy with this team, expects them to contend for the MEAC championship. So we should be in the top 2. See how it turns out. He's played a tough non-conference schedule.
North Carolina Central was picked 4th, Howard 1st, Norfolk State, Maryland, Eastern Shore.
That was on Edwards. Yeah, he wasn't agreeing with that poll. He said we should have been top 2.
Well, they got the most production returning in the conference in terms of points and minutes. And then when they get Morgan Callahan healthy, the 6-foot graduate student who is a preseason player of the year, who's not playing today in concussion protocol. She's 10 points, 7 boards a game. There's Morgan right there in the middle.
And Morgan also an outstanding student, just one of a handful of students in their pharmaceutical science academic major. They only accept about 5 into that program, and she's one of them. Good rebound by Penn. Central still looking for their first second chance bucket of the game.
Well, Coleman has been their best 3-point shooter. She's got the ball right here.
Gets the screen from Penn. Good D by Johnson. Lane forces it up. Edwards already looking up the floor. Raven Johnson. 3 on the way. Good again by McDowell.
I'm telling you, that kid can play.
Yeah.
That kid is going to be a star at South Carolina.
A coach coming back to the South Carolina bench. And she had 10 points, 9 rebounds in the first half. McDowell, all of her buckets were threes today, 3 for 4. Raven Johnson picks it up to Latson, and Latson with the easy 2. Latson now with 14 points. And another timeout taken by Central. So South Carolina is up in this quarter, 11-0.
About Joyce Edwards' versatility. We know she can score. She's a double-double most nights. But defensively, she's been active. She's been able to play on the perimeter. She gives Dawn Staley another defensive weapon. Off the steal, the push, delivers it right to the pocket. And then watch this right here. She's guarding the point guard. She's going to stun in the gap and then recover and then do a really good job of rebounding to initiate the break. That's some pretty good defense right there by Joyce Edwards.
Do you see that as one of the biggest areas of improvement this year from last year with her?
That, confidence, getting off the glass and pushing. I mean, the total skill set and the whole package is better. And I also think having a coach with her alongside her gives her a little bit of an opportunity to play facing up. She did hit a 3 in the Louisville game. But I think that's the next area. Threes and then making plays off the bounce.
She's 1 for 4 this season behind the 3-point line. Del Tack in the game defending right now. A coach has come back to the bench but hasn't played in the second half. It's thrown out for Johnson. Johnson to Tack. Tack almost lost it out of bounds. Good save. McDowell's had the hot hand and one. She had made nothing but threes until then. She still may get 3 points out of it. Wait a minute. No, offensive foul on McDowell. Getting some boos here, but that's a good call.
It's a good call.
Yeah.
Got to establish legal guarding position before she left her feet.
Good D. Lane. 3 is blocked by Latson, and Latson saves it. Latson head up. Lobs it over to Edwards. Edwards spins left, kicks it on the wing. 3 on the way from Johnson. Yes. Raven Johnson with the 3. South Carolina has not given up a point this quarter. And Edwards, Latson's gained some speed this year, but not that much speed.
You got to put a little air under this pass. It's a great defensive play. We just featured her defensively.
Yeah, that's right. When you saw it in real time, it almost looked like we were at altitude.
Well, sometimes when you only make that pass with one hand, when you can put 2 on it.
There you go. Stolen away by Johnson. 3-on-1 break. Edwards is fouled. So Edwards is going to go to the line. And it looked like she was fouled by Jasper.
I mean, hey, Sam, we always talk about your first 3 steps in transition and why they're important. And Joyce Edwards just showed us why, because she is seeking a layup on the other end, and she put it in another gear.
Yes, she did. 3rd foul on Jasper for the Eagles. South Carolina had that 3-on-1 break. Latson to Edwards. Edwards asked for the ball. McDowell, another 3. Yes.
Do you think that Joyce Edwards at halftime was told by her coach to be a playmaker and not try to score? Because to me, it looks like she is trying really hard to set up her teammates, to add that consistently to her game.
She's got 4 assists.
They only had 5 as a team in the first half, and she didn't have any. So all 4 of her assists have come in the last 6 minutes of play.
Jasper shot it over Latson, and South Carolina will get it back.
We might be onto something here. Watch this. She could easily get an and one there. Instead, she kicks out in the slot. 4 triples, right? For McDowell.
She's 4 of 5. She's got 4 of the team's 5. In this third quarter, South Carolina hasn't missed a shot. 6 of 6 overall. Latson off the glass. The perfection continues, and she's got 8 points this quarter.
I watched that for 3 years at Florida State. 25 points a game last year to lead the nation in scoring, and great article by SI about Ta'Niya Latson and her decision to come to Florida State. And Dawn Staley says in the portal, she always asks, why are you leaving? And Latson, it wasn't just to win a national championship, it was to get better as a pro.
Edwards with the layup, and Dawn Staley also very complimentary of Brooke Wyckoff
Yes.
and the Florida State staff and the way they developed Ta'Niya before she came to South Carolina. No bad blood there.
No, I mean, Brooke Wyckoff for 3 years did an outstanding job. Ta'Niya Latson took them to 3 NCAA tournaments. But here she's not just the featured guard, right? I mean, she's definitely a part of their balance, but she's not going to always get the toughest defender every night. There's a lot of balance here that you have to guard. Still, getting the toughest defender every night at Florida State and scoring 25 points a game was quite remarkable. Look what she's done here in the third quarter. The first half, she got those points basically off her defense.
Back-to-back threes to start this quarter. 3 on the way for the Eagles. Latson with a rebound. Add a rebound to her total. On the wing to McDowell. McDowell's been high. Finally missed. McDaniel with a rebound. McDowell. Edwards, offensive board and stick back. Edwards, 19 points. Dowda, defending fingers, playing with 3 fouls. Latson, there's her speed. And a block. Good job by the officials to confer with each other before they made the determination here.
It's a good call. It's a block.
Foul's on Harris. So Latson's going to go to the free throw line now to try to complete a 3-point play. Latson, 79% free throw shooter this year, and now has 19 points. Nice take, blocked by Edwards. It'll stay with Central. Keep in mind, South Carolina is without Tessa Johnson and Medina Okote here in the second half. And they have not given up a point, Debbie. They're up 26-0 in this third quarter.
I was here the night that Ole Miss didn't score in a quarter, and I'm sure Coach Yo is hoping that this holds so they can get their name off that record.
Some laughs over on the bench, except for Dawn Staley, as McDowell was trying to throw an alley-oop to Latson. Should have been the other way around, I think.
Well, see, Coach Staley's like, we need a point right here. So what she's doing right now is explaining, we're not playing to the scoreboard.
Yeah.
We're going to need that basket against LSU and Texas and Oklahoma and Alabama and Ole Miss.
And there's the first basket of the quarter for Central. It's scored by Anaya Finger. Came after a Dowda block. Latson dumps it to Edwards. Edwards draws the foul, and a good sportsmanship helped up by Blake. So the score now 26-2 here in this quarter. That was the third foul on Blake. Edwards is going back to the line to try to get her 20th point and maybe 21. And a reminder, after this game, we'll be sending you to Tuscaloosa for the first game of our afternoon men's basketball doubleheader, Alabama and UTSA. Coming up next here on SEC Network and the all-new ESPN app.
The Baron Phylon coming off a 29-point performance against Clemson and a win over the Clemson Tigers in the ACC SEC Challenge.
It's a good challenge for the Alabama programs as the women beat Clemson as well. Tack back in off the bench. And if you have the all-new ESPN app, go back and watch South Carolina's game against Louisville or against Texas. Those are two good games to rewatch on the app. Travel.
Coach Baxter hoping that his team will get some good film here, and you test yourself against the size and length. You're not going to see size and length like this anywhere else on your schedule.
Third quarter is a quarter that I'm sure he's going to be focusing on now. They had a less than average third quarter against A&T the other night. It cost him the game. This has not been a good third quarter for the North Carolina Central Eagles today either. It's been great for South Carolina. Dowda with the offensive board. McDowell takes it down the lane and travels.
Wide open is Maddie McDaniel. And you got to see that. It seems to me like maybe we were right about the playmaking options that Coach Staley was looking for a team to try to make the game easier for your teammates. Find a way to make the game easier. And making the easy pass usually helps.
Well, this is a different unit on the floor for South Carolina than what they've had today. A foul on Young. And Edwards is off the floor now. Third foul on Young. Second foul on Young. So Edwards on the bench. Edwards over there with 20 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. Coach Staley giving some of her bench players extended minutes in this game. Final 30 seconds of the quarter. McDowell fouled by Foster.
Coach Staley having a good laugh at the end of her bench down there with Chloe Kitts, who she called the glue.
Yeah.
Keeping it entertaining down there, talking the hoops.
Chloe out this season after the ACL surgery and has been doing remarkably well in rehab, says Molly Benetti. In fact, when you watch Chloe Kitts walk in, you would never even know she had an injury. She's walking so well. But that is a big blow to this team that they've had to overcome quickly. Good job by Raven Johnson. What a steal. And South Carolina can have the final shot. They go into tack, off the mark. And now ball out of bounds. It will stay with South Carolina for 2.7 seconds. What a steal by Raven Johnson. And attack and Penn getting tangled up inside. Told to calm down in there. Into tack, stop, shoots. Off the mark, Dowda's shot will not count. So South Carolina wins the third quarter, 28-2. 10 more minutes left to watch the third-ranked team in the nation. Asia Wilson would have been proud of that third quarter as her former team won it 28-2, and it was the Latson show, Debbie.
Well, Ta'Niya Latson heated up here in the third quarter after 6 points in the first half. She had back-to-back triples in the deep corner, and one of them was in transition. And she was really good at tips, deflections, and then breakouts off her defense. This is why you see her here at South Carolina. She has the ability to score in a variety of ways. She's a tremendous teammate. You can see that South Carolina had it going here in the third, 28-2 to outscore North Carolina Central.
And they, again, were without Tessa Johnson and Medina Acote. That's normally 28 points per game for South Carolina. It just gives you an idea as to the depth Don Staley has. And we start this final quarter with Latson, McDaniel, Tack, and Johnson on the floor for South Carolina. Young, Foster, Penn, Lane, and Finger out there for the Eagles.
North Carolina Central only turned it over 9 times in the third quarter, so they did get a little bit better there at taking care of the ball with better ball security.
We have the ball first. Finger driving. Latson with another steal. Her third steal of the game. And McDaniel draws the foul.
Nice pass by Raven Johnson.
One thing South Carolina did not do in the third quarter, they didn't commit a foul. Yeah, nice.
Well, if you can play disciplined defense, not put the other team in the bonus, and you can do that consecutively and not foul with as physical as we know the SEC is going to be.
Third foul on Young. All of McDaniel's points have come from the free throw line this afternoon. 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Final quarter here in Columbia. Again, Central had a goal of keeping South Carolina under 100. Keep your eye on this Central team when they get into conference play in the MEAC. Lane, shot clock's down to 1. Got rim, but missed. Here comes McDaniel. She did not see Latson open on the wing, but went down the middle of the floor to Dowda. And South Carolina will keep it.
So South Carolina post players have got to be a little bit better at finishing at the rim. They've got the size advantage.
And scored 32 points in the paint. But again, Code has 10 of those. She hasn't played this half. Nice look. There's a finish by Dowda. Coleman. Wow, Coleman has been red hot today. 4 of 6 behind the free line. Latson trying to answer. 3 for 3, yes.
6 for 6 in the second half. Has not missed, including 3 triples.
Latson up to 22 points for the afternoon. It was the nation's leading scorer last year. Finger launches a 3. Good block out by Dowda, and then Latson just blows by everyone for the layup. And timeout Central. North Carolina Central going to take a timeout as South Carolina just exploded on the last 2 times down the floor.
Great offensive rebound. 7 for ready to come back out and ball next weekend.
Yeah, this is a bookend game for exam week. Exams just starting at South Carolina. They'll end next week when Penn State is here. And Louisville Lady Vols game on that graphic as well. That's a good one coming up later in the month. Steal right away out of the timeout. Raven Johnson throws it out. Dowda going to try another 3. Oh, Dowda still looking for that first made 3 of the season. Lane rifles it out of Finger's reach. Turnover back to the Gamecocks. Did that sound weird, out of Finger's reach?
You know what? I didn't catch that, but that was a good one, Sam.
Yeah, thanks. Didn't mean to.
Oops. Oh, travel. Corey Chambers on the call.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if how her playing affects her officiating.
I think it 100% helps. She's first of all, she's a highly competitive athlete, very decorated in the SEC, understands the league, and with officiating, it's judgment more than it's mechanics to me. The judgment has to be good.
So if you're an elite level player and you become an official, are you a little more lenient?
No. You follow the rules.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
you call the game by the rules.
Edwards, good pass from Latson and a nice finish.
I wish there were more basketball players that played the women's game that considered officiating.
Instead of lenient, I guess that was a bad word. Do you see it differently?
I think you see it as a player.
Right.
Like sitting over here, you see the game as a coach and a player. Same thing.
Attack with a rebound. McDaniel up to Latson. Dowda's posting up. They couldn't get it to her. He had to move out of the lane. Now Edwards finds her, and there's the finish.
There you go. I mean, you got your defender buried in the rim.
Since you said that they've got to learn to finish better, they've done it. In-game improvement. Nice take by Morris. That was the 40th point in the paint for South Carolina. They average 50 points per game in paint scoring. Latson fouled on the way up.
Middle ball screen, duck in, great timing. Nice post feed. With South Carolina's size, remember I said before, a lot of bigs don't like to play the game low to high. So you don't really see really tall women sit in the post and post up. You see smaller players do that. But you got to be able to handle all kinds of passes to the post. And South Carolina likes a pass that's at their hands up above, not a bounce pass.
Good free throw shooting by Latson today. She's been perfect from the line, 5 of 5. South Carolina is a team 21 of 26 from the line. Finger. Nice shot over tack.
Did she with a finger roll by finger?
Yeah.
A little bit. Edwards playing the three.
Dowda again. Spun and got tied up. A nice D by Finger. She was right there to grab it. So jump ball will keep it on this end. It'll still be South Carolina's ball. Dowda asking for the screen. Got it. Edwards is loose for the pass though. Lane out to Hinton. And Hinton knocks down the three. That is her 20th made three of the season. That leads the MEAC in most threes this season. Edwards just can't get it into Dowda yet. Shot clock is down to 7. Edwards traveled after getting contact. And McDowell will come in now for the Gamecocks. To replace Tack. I think Edwards is back to playmaking right now. Is that what we were seeing?
Yeah, I think the second half has been playmaking. No assists in the first half. In the second half,
5.
She's got 5.
Morris bounces it in to Finger.
Reject the screen and drive. Nice take.
Star Williams from Rock Hill, South Carolina. A couple of these North Carolina Central players from South Carolina with friends and family here today.
Number 15, Diana Blake from Somerville.
But Latson continues to just fill it up from the outside. Now 4 of 5 behind the three-point line. 29 points over her season high. So a new season high for Latson.
And she has not missed in the second half.
Foul on that rebound is going to go against Latson. But Latson for the game, 10 of 16 overall, 4 of 5 behind the three-point line, 5 for 5 for the free throw line. She has not been called on to score as much this year, but today she's definitely piling up the points without Johnson and a coat on the floor. 5-second call. Turnover. Central couldn't get it in. Latson, baseball pass. Now
Oh,
down
nice.
to Dowda.
I mean, those are good habits. Switching sides of the floor in transition. Defensive transition is already hard enough to guard, but when you have the floor spread like South Carolina and you stay wide and you switch sides, that is another level of challenge defensively for a team getting back to try to stop South Carolina's progression of the ball.
It's the 4th foul on Finger. Miriam Dowda at the free throw line now. It's now 7 of 11 for the season from the free throw line. She didn't play against Louisville the other night.
That's a big win for Dawn Staley's team on the road because they had to execute late. Louisville had a good look from Taj Roberts, who played well. It was a really fun game to watch.
Now they locked them down the final 2.5 minutes. Our coach put them up for good in that game. Double dribble. That Louisville South Carolina game was tied 6 times. They had 13 lead changes. And to your point, to win a game like that on the road is huge. Central showing press here. Edwards doesn't have a dribble. McDaniel. You got to admire the creativity.
Maybe. It depends on. It depends.
It didn't go in. I thought it was cool.
I didn't see any reaction from the staff, so.
So I think Fingers just fouled out as a result of this.
I mean, I think she got stuck. She got caught in the air. I think Coach
Staley.
Nice
3-on-3 move. So Fingers just fouled out. That's why there's a delay right now. Coach Baxter replacing her, and Finger fouling out of the game.
Coach Baxter was very realistic about what he expected out of this matchup. And as you mentioned before, Sam, just trying to hold them under 100 would be a challenge for his team. However, he also knows that they're not going to see anybody like this on their schedule moving forward. And you give your kids an experience to see what it feels like and looks like. And it's hard to simulate it.
Like you said, when he gets into NEAC play, it gets easier because they play teams like this. Like they may break this press.
That's 10.
There we go.
See, look at his enthusiasm over there with his team. Does it look like he's down by that many? Because it sure doesn't, right?
And he says, I'm an old school coach, and he is so much fun to talk to before the game.
Yeah, he's so proud of his young women for their academic achievements. And he was bragging on his mother, Evelyn. We know Willie and Evelyn, his parents, are watching tonight. Evelyn went back to school and got her degree at Catawba after the age of 50.
Yeah.
She had worked in the furniture market and in the big furniture stores in Thomasville, which is famous for furniture. It's pretty cool.
And he said, he was actually in school while she was. Great story. Such a fun time to talk to him before the game, learn his family story. Certainly see where his tenacity and work ethic came from. Edwards passes in the corner to McDowell. 3 is good.
She's got that down. That skip over the top.
All 5 of her baskets made have been threes. And a foul on McDaniel on the other end with 2:09 to play. Here it is again.
Draws 2, skip. Over helping, over rotating North Carolina Central, and wide open McDowell.
So Maya Harris will be on the free throw line. Sophomore from Powder Springs, Georgia. Her first free throw of the day. Harris's first point this afternoon as well. Gets them both. Central again, showing full court pressure. Latson trying to get by Lane. Good D by the Eagles.
Edwards running the point here. Last couple possessions.
Foul on Harris out front defending Edwards. 1:51 left to play. Edwards with 22 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists today. And Edwards back on the free throw line to add to that total. She's 6 of 8 from the line today. Don Staley's got to be happy with the free throw shooting today.
I think there's a lot of things Coach Staley can be happy about today with the way her team has performed. Now they got to get to the books, right? Because that's what everybody's going to be doing this week, is studying for their finals. And then you get to play a bunch of basketball without any classes. That's the best time of year.
Latson with another assist to Edwards, and Edwards continues to pile up the points. That was point number 100 for the Gamecocks. Fans appreciating it. So it's 100-41 right now. Latson trying to add to it. 103-41. Five threes today from Latson. And a foul on Edwards. Third foul on Edwards.
What a second half for Ta'Niya Latson. First half, she scored 6 points on her defense, Sam. She was 0 for 1 from 3. She has not missed in the second half.
Yeah, Latson with a new season high, 32 points today. Lane at the free throw line. Lane's been running the point today for the Eagles. And makes 1 of 2. She's actually the best free throw shooter in the MEAC. And Latson comes out of the game. Latson today, fantastic game. 32 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Final minute of regulation. As South Carolina will be heading into exams with an exclamation point today.
Yeah, the second half was about playmaking and making the game easier for your teammates, which they did. I thought their spacing, their ball movement, their execution, much better in the second half, especially when you know that you have overwhelmed your opponent. Then you start working on the habits that you want to have when conference play arrives, and we're not too far from that for Coach Staley.
Foul is on Jasper, her 4th. McDaniel's done a good job coming off the bench today. All of her points have been from the free throw line, but she's 8 of 9 from the line now. 8 of 10. Edwards with another rebound to add to her total. Adele Tack lost it out of bounds. South Carolina will keep it. And a Coat not playing in the second half today. Had 10 points, 9 rebounds in the first half. And Tack missing the shot, but she's going to go to the free throw line. Fans really want Adele Tack to score. She touches the ball. They've been cheering. There we go. Adele Tack, a crowd favorite here in Colonial Life Arena. Makes both. So final 30 seconds of regulation. We're hoping to have Joyce Edwards come over and talk to us after the game. Blocked by Dowda. Stops the clock with 23.2 left.
Fun being with you, son.
Yeah.
I mean, what a great performance by South Carolina. And we look forward to watching North Carolina Central in the MEAC this year, and following the career of Coach Baxter.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. Fans on their feet as South Carolina now has won 86 straight games over unranked opponents. That is the longest active streak in the nation. Don Staley's team only gave up 17 points in the second half, and they win it 106-42. Ta'Niya Latson, a new season high for her, 32 points, made 5 3-pointers. So we will step aside for a moment and come back to Columbia.